What is up guys, it's Jordan here and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about Ready or Not again and whether or not it is in a little bit of trouble. This video isn't really based on personal opinion. I will bring a couple of personal opinion bits into it, but it's mainly just talking about the game and some of the community reactions to the recently released gameplay trailer reveal thing. I've completely butchered that. But if you didn't know, basically they released a very long trailer recently just talking about several features of the game, the progress of the game, the ambitions, whilst also showing off snippets of gameplay in a moderately controlled environment. It wasn't like a free, someone playing through a mission kind of thing. It was a very controlled thing where they showed off the things that they wanted to show. Very quickly, I want to say that I thought the trailer was really good. It wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting like a raw cut bit of gameplay, like a mission that they just played from start to end. That being said, I did think the trailer was very good. It definitely achieved what they wanted in a way that I think is true to the developers, and I just think that the trailer did a pretty good job of that. Before this video starts, I just want to say, let me know in the comments what you're thinking about the current state of the game. Are you excited by the trailer? Did you like it? Did you not? And tell me what you thought about it overall. I want to see people's opinions and what they thought of the game, and to be honest, just get a discussion going about it, because I think it's a very interesting topic right now because lots of people have different opinions. But anyway, let's get into the video. For this video, we're going to break it down into 5 points that I've selected about why some people are a bit unhappy with the gameplay reveal trailer. Do bear in mind, this is not the entirety of the community. This is just opinions of people that I've seen. I will be making another video which is more on the positive sides of things, but this is just an interesting thing for me to see people's reaction after so long of waiting for this trailer, and that's why I wanted to talk about it in a video. So going to the points in order, the first one is fans aren't happy that the release date is so far away. Most people were expecting it to be quite soon because they've been sort of really hyping it up recently, and to be fair, you can say that they never actually explained or said when the release date would be, so no one can really be disappointed. However, people are upset that it's so far away. There are people that are accepting it though and happy that the devs are taking the time, and I personally think time is a good thing. I've been disappointed by so many games recently that I'm fine with them taking their time, but there was definitely an initial reaction of people that were very surprised that it's coming out in the summer of next year, because I mean, from where we are now, that's over a year away, and the way that the content has sort of been released lately in terms of screenshots and things, it was indirectly hyping it towards like a release date was coming up. But to be fair, again, they never actually said release date, they just said gameplay trailer reveal, so they've done everything correctly. But naturally people were thinking it was going to come out sooner because the game has been, it was announced a while ago now. Actually, I made a video on the announcement which I think was over a year ago now. It was a long time, so you can understand why people thought maybe it was going to be coming out a little bit sooner than it is. But either way, it's coming out next year, and to be honest, I think overall it will be a good thing because more time to polish is definitely positive, especially when it's coming from a small developer. And instead of going into early access and possibly getting a bad first opinion from people, they're taking their time and releasing it fully, which I think is a good idea. Kind of, actually. You can buy a supporter package, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. The second thing that people weren't too happy about, and this has actually been slightly amended since then, and that's the pricing plan wasn't great. There were two packages. You had the basic package, which basically just allowed you to play the game straight away when it was launched, and I think that was £35. I know people are going to give me crap for not knowing the facts, but I just forgot to write them down in my notes. But it was around average price for a game. And then there was a very expensive supporter package, which was over £100. Now the supporter package came with like a limited number of mouse pads for those that had purchased it. There's like 100 or something, so it wasn't for everyone, and it was 25% off the first expansion, which is the thing that's now been amended. They're now saying the first expansion will be free. But the main thing people were saying is it's a lot of money for like not that much stuff, and as well as that, there's no kind of like middle tier. It's either like you pay a normal price or you pay a very expensive price. In terms of like a normal AAA game, you're talking about a basic edition and then like one of the ultimate collector's editions that normally comes with loads of crazy stuff in a big crate or whatever. That being said though, when they were talking about the expansions, people thought that, one DLC 25% off, which is now free again, people were saying that's not enough. However, the developers have already explained that the expansions in this are going to be more like the classic Rainbow Six kind of style expansions, where like with Rainbow Six 3 Raven Shield, it's an expansion, but it's almost like an entirely new game on its own. It's like so meaty with so much content that it's not really classified as like a DLC in comparison to what we think of when we say DLC in the modern term. It's more like a WoW expansion as well, almost like so much new content that you can literally sink as much time into the expansion as the main game. So that does kind of justify it only being 25% off originally, which kind of was not that great of a defense for many people. But anyway, it is now free with the supported package, which is great. That's made a lot of people happy, but there are still a few people that think maybe that there should be a middle tier, and I agree with that. I think something like £60–70 right in the middle would be nice, and that gives you the 25% off that was originally in the supporter package and a few other small bits. I think that would be a good idea. As well as that, the supporter package does get you access to the beta, which is what I said earlier about being able to play a little bit early. It's not early access, for it's simply a beta, and it also gives you access to the alpha as well. But the whole idea of the supporter package is to support the developers more than anything. It's not like you're buying it because you want tons of crazy like collector's edition items. It is more of a, that's why it's called the supporter package. I mean, you get some things for it, but it's mostly about for the people that are dedicated to the developers and the game and want to make sure that it actually does well and to help out as much as possible. Basically an alternative to having a Kickstarter or something like that. Instead of going down the route of crowdfunding, they've just said, hey, you can buy this more expensive package and you get a few things to it, but mainly you help the development of the game. The third thing people weren't too happy about is the animations look clunky in places, and this is probably one of the things that I brought the most, is that people didn't like the look of the animations. Personally, in places, definitely there are some weird things and it's a bit clunky, but I'm not really too fussed on it, because what things that people weren't actually mentioning in these complaints is that this is an extremely early version of the game. This isn't alpha, this isn't closed alpha, this is still like mid-development. We're talking over a year away from the game's release. So everything you see is subject to change, and I can tell you from a person that's developed games before and been involved with it, that animations are normally one of the last things you polish. Normally you get yourself some functional animations in there first, and then later on you start going for the fancy ones and polishing everything up. So right now everything in there probably will change. It will be definitely subject to change anyway. I mean, I get people saying it looks a bit weird, and maybe they could have done a better job at trying to hide some of the worst animations in the gameplay reveal, but at the end of the day it's very early and this isn't like, we're not viewing the final version of the game, not even close. If they said the release date was this summer, then I'll be a bit concerned, because that's a short window of time to improve animations, but we've got well over a year until this releases, so plenty of time to do motion capture or whatever it is they end up doing, so I really wouldn't worry about it too much. The next thing I want to point out is a bit similar, and that's people are saying that the gameplay looks a little bit stiff in places. Now it's kind of hard to actually gauge what people mean by this, because I'm sure everyone has their own opinion on what stiff gameplay looks like, but as an example I'm going to say they probably think it looks a bit like Armor, in which movement isn't very smooth and a bit clunky in places. And the thing I will say about this is it's almost impossible to tell without actually playing it, because you just don't know the circumstances that it was in when it was being recorded, who was playing it, there's just so many factors. So it's one of those things where I would say definitely like keep it in mind for the people that are complaining about it, or not even complaining but just not too happy on it, but I wouldn't let it be something that influences the game right now. I would definitely wait a bit and then wait until some people in an uncontrolled environment get their hands on the game and end up playing it, and then you'll understand from their opinions better what the game actually plays like, because the narration of this video didn't actually mention anything like that at all. It was purely talking about like ambitions for the game and things like that, so it's absolutely impossible to say what it plays like, and no one has ever actually come forth and said they've played it from the dev team and that's what they think of it, because of course they're developers, they're not going to tell you, oh yeah, it's clunky here. So no one outside of the dev team has really played it yet, so it's impossible to say if it's actually clunky or not. The final thing is a very scripted reveal, and this is something that I do agree with. I did think that we were going to be getting like a very unscripted, uncontrolled environment look at the game, where it's someone just playing through a mission or something, but instead it was almost like a cinematic from start to end, which you can say a trailer's supposed to be, but I think because of the way it was almost marketed as like gameplay reveal and everything like that, people were thinking it would just be like some straight up raw gameplay, and although there are snippets in there, it is like, you know, very, very controlled. And the thing is, now that I know the release date is over a year away, I completely understand that. At first I was like, oh god, this sucks, you know, I want to see some actual raw, uncut gameplay. But now that I know how far away we are and how much development there's left to do, I completely understand them wanting to keep it, you know, closed doors and not show it off in its raw form, because judging by how far we are in development, there's probably tons of things that are subject to change and work in progress, and, you know, doing some raw, unmoderated gameplay would probably just show off lots of flaws and, you know, lower people's hype for it, and you don't want that right now, especially this early in the game's life. So yeah, at first I would say it was a bit disappointing. It still is in some ways. It would be nice to see an unscripted mission, but I do understand it, and I don't think it's a bad thing for the game, and it doesn't represent anything bad, and I think overall the trailer was a massive success. I think they showed off what they wanted to, generated a bit more hype here and there. There are people like this video is describing that aren't too happy about certain things, but I think overall they did a good job with it, and after watching it 3 or 4 times, I'm actually even more hyped for the game now than I was before. But I want to end this video on one point, which is just talking about the gameplay details, and I want to say something that I just thought the entire way through this video, and that is it truly does look so much like a modern version of Swat 4, which is beautiful, because Swat 4 is one of my all-time favourite games, And to see this, it's almost like, in some places it does look like a remaster of SWAT 4. It's that close to that style of gameplay. Again, this is a very controlled trailer, so I can't show it, like I can't say for sure, but looking at it, like if someone had shown me this without telling me the name of the game or anything and just said, oh hey, this is SWAT 5, I would have believed them. I'm like, yeah, that's SWAT 5, that looks like SWAT 5. And the fact that developers are almost embracing this in places as well, I think is awesome. So fingers crossed this could actually be the SWAT 4 successor, or spiritual successor, that many of us have wanted for so long, and this trailer just kind of furthers that we could possibly be getting that with this game. But anyway guys, that is all for this video. If you did enjoy this video, then please do let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think about the trailer. Did you like it? Did you not like it? And what did you or did you not like about the trailer? I want to hear everyone's opinions and see what everyone's thinking about it and whether or not you're hyped for this game or not. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. Like I said, do subscribe for some more awesome content, and I will see you in the next one.